What's up, guys? It's Dustin Stelzer from Journey to Master, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about reviews and the importance of reviews in today's online social society. So stay tuned. All right, so reviews. Reviews are today's word of mouth. Reviews are gold. And if you can keep positive reviews, you're going to get a lot of work. I haven't been doing this for a year yet, and I am slammed with work constantly. But I make it a point to get reviews and get feedback from people. And as long as I maintain like a good rapport with people, nobody has a problem doing one. You know, a lot of times I ask, a lot of times I don't ask. But when I'm finished with a job, we usually send out a link that I've made and just ask the customer, hey, would you please leave an honest review, let people know how we did. And we've gotten tons of them on Facebook, on Google. There's a Nextdoor app that like neighbors have in their neighborhood that they can kind of like hand out business cards for you. They give referrals essentially. Angie's List, Home Advisor, House, like we've got reviews in a lot of places, and so far every one of them is good. They're all 5-star. I think we've had one 4.8 star review, and it was somebody I didn't even do work for. They hired us to come out and give a quote. I showed up to give the quote, and the lady's like, oh, we already had somebody come and fix it in a matter of like 2 days. And then she left a 4.8 star review that said electrician was too busy and couldn't get to us fast enough. Like, I don't know, whatever, dude. I know that that's going to happen. That's the kind of shitty side of reviews, is like no matter how good of a job you do, there are just going to be people out there that have nothing good to say. And you got to know that people that are looking at your reviews know that as well. When you've got like 138 5-star reviews and one 4-star review, and somebody writes something stupid like that, and you reply to it saying, you know, like we had an appointment, we told you our expectations ahead of time, and you didn't even do the work for the people. Like, people are smart on that kind of stuff. So nobody's looking for you to be perfect across the board. They are looking for people that have the top reviews, though. So that being said, when you think about today's, like, what word of mouth is, well, actually, when you think about what word of mouth was, you know, in like the 70s and 80s, some guy would talk to some lady and they'd be like, hey, do you know an electrician? And they'd be like, yeah, I got this guy. And that was it. That's as far as your word of mouth got. Maybe if you did a good job for that lady, she would tell some of her friends and some of her friends, but it was really slow and it was really organic. There was no massive reach to get out to everybody that doesn't know these people. It was only people that knew people. Nowadays, reviews are so different. Somebody can put a review on Facebook, and now 17,000 people in their Facebook neighborhood can read it, and it's people that don't even know this person. Or on Home Advisor, you know, somebody on the opposite end of town that doesn't know anybody is just reading through all of your reviews. And so if you have really good reviews, like, it spreads like wildfire. So the way I think about reviews is I think of them like a virus. And in both a good and a bad way, if somebody leaves a review in a certain area or a certain neighborhood, everybody in that neighborhood is going to be able to see that review, especially with Facebook, because a lot of communities have Facebook groups set up. So I just did a job that's in Round Rock. In their like Facebook group, it's everybody that's around them for miles. So it's like thousands of homes. And so when anybody in that group says, hey, do you have an electrician, he can post something. Or he said what he was going to do, because he had just had a good experience with me. He said he's just going to go on there and post right now. And so everybody that's just going through their Facebook is going to see that review. And so I'll probably get work like fairly quickly off that. But it spreads like wildfire, or like a virus would spread. So, you know, you have this one good review in this area, and then it's just boom, you know, it spreads. And then if you have another review in another area, boom, it spreads. Angie's List and Facebook is more centered around people that are on Angie's List or Facebook. Now that Angie's List is going away, it's still going to be the same thing. Being that I used Angie's List and I was a contractor in there, I actually got to talk to some of the people about the merger and what's happening. And so Angie's List is still going to be around. It's just going to be called Angie Home Services, ANGI. The CEO of Home Advisor is going to take over Angie Home Services, but it's still going to be a completely separate thing. They're not merging the two to make like one super group. They just own both of them now. But anyways, those environments, it's not like neighbors that can talk and you do more work in that neighborhood. It's everybody around you in your zip code and the multiple zip codes around you that are seeing these reviews. So there's still a really good upside to that whole thing. But things like Nextdoor is great too. I mean, like, I will get updates all the time that we have a new recommendation from this neighborhood, a new recommendation from this neighborhood. And so all of their neighbors start calling us. Just because of reviews and word of mouth, I don't have to pay for any services like Home Advisor and Angie's List and all that stuff. I still do. I still pay for Home Advisor only. The only other thing that I pay for, other than like putting Facebook commercials or Facebook advertising out there, but that's just because, being as new as I am, if I ever hit like a lull, I can just turn the Home Advisor thing on and it just feeds me as much volume as I can handle. So that's just a nice water faucet for work. But I don't have to use it. Like, we're 2 to 3 weeks out always. There's never a time where we're slow. Unless I scheduled a job that's supposed to like last a full week and then something falls through in that job we don't have anymore. Then it's like, oh shit, you know, turn on Home Advisor, and then it just fills everything up. So reviews are huge, man. Reviews are a very, very important thing to keep on top of, because that seems to be the floodgates that gets opened up. Word of mouth is always the best form of advertising. I do believe that 100%. It's just that you got to realize now, word of mouth is like wildfire, and it's global. It's not, it's not just people that know other people. It's anybody and everybody that's searching for an electrician is going to find reviews about electricians. What's cool about Google, like in Google Maps, if you type in, for example, Cedar Park electrician, it's going to come up with a map around you, and it's going to tell you the 10 closest electricians to you, and it's going to list them all by how many reviews they have, or how popular their website is, or whatever. But you can actually click to sort by highest rated, and then it rearranges everything into only 5 stars and only 4.5 stars and all of that. Anyways, reviews, I would really make it a point to incorporate some sort of email or text follow-up or something where you just ask these people to give you reviews after every single job. A lot of them are going to do it for you. Oh, the other thing, what I was trying to transition and saying was, people are always going to speak loudly for you, so you need to speak loudly first. You need to be out there and getting as many positive reviews from people as you can, so that the negative one doesn't just crush everything. If you start getting, if the only review you have, or the only like 2 or 3 reviews that you have are bad, you're not going to get called. Nobody's going to waste their time with you, because there's 30 other electricians that have way better reviews. So stay on top of it. But that goes to say, the way to get reviews is just to treat people well. Don't be an asshole. Don't get mad when you have a finicky customer. Like, don't argue. The whole customer's always right thing still applies. And it's only because they have all the leverage, really. I mean, you have a certain amount of leverage, but ultimately they're in control of spreading what's said about your company out there. And so that's both good and bad. And people seem to be a lot louder when they're pissed off. So if you do the due diligence of constantly asking for reviews, even go as far as saying like, hey, if you leave a review on Facebook, I'll give you, the next time you call me, I'll give you a free chip charge or something like that. Don't say if you give me a 5-star review, because that's just shitty. Like, that's a schmucky kind of thing to do. Just offer some kind of incentive for people to want to give you a review if what you did for them was not enough motivation. Most of the time it is. But just keep in mind, bad reviews are louder. And people, when they're really pissed off, are happy to leave a review. They're happy to just fuck their whole day up and sidetrack themselves to screw you because you did a shit job or you pissed them off or something. People aren't so quick to get online and like leave positive reviews because everybody expects a good experience. It's kind of, you should have a good experience when you have an electrician in your home. You shouldn't have a bad one. So just my recommendation for everyone, because of what's going on with me, we get outstanding reviews. We have an outstanding customer base. We have a great relationship with our customers. Stay on top of your reviews. Make reviews a priority. I have a little pre-formatted HTML email that I put together where it's got pictures and it's got a little image with 5 stars on it that is like, give us a review, you know, and it just kind of puts like 5 stars in their mind. I don't know if the shit actually works or not. I think people are just genuinely happy with us, and we take the time, you know, when Emily answers the phone, like from that first point of contact, she builds a crazy rapport with them and like makes them laugh and jokes around, and she's just bubbly and nice. And then when I meet with them on site, like I always offer to take my shoes off when I come into their home. There's certain people that you got to watch out for things like that. You just have to know your cultures, know your age groups, know what people care about. You know, like elderly people really respect it when you offer or when you just take your hat off when you're coming to their home. It wouldn't make a difference probably, but they just see those things. They notice things like that. There's some Indian families that I've done work for that I had to learn on the first one that they're like, take your shoes off. And I noticed, you know, there's a massive pile of shoes outside the front door, not inside, and they all walk around barefoot. That's a huge, important thing in their culture to them. So if you show them the respect when you walk up to the door and you see all these shoes sitting outside, even if it's not an Indian, it's not, you know, not even about that. If you see anything like that, pay attention. Because if you just offer, hey, would you like me to take my shoes off? They're going to say yes, or they're going to say, nah, dude, don't even worry about it. But at least you thought of them and you gave a shit enough about them, and they're going to remember something like that. And if you know, take the time to shoot the shit with them, make them laugh a little bit, like be personable, ask them about how old are your kids, how many kids you got, you know, what are your kids involved with, what do you do for a living? And like, I'm a dog catcher. Cool, man, what's it like being a dog catcher? Even if you don't give a shit, try to give a shit. I mean, really, like, force yourself to try to care about people. Don't front like you care and just be asking shit so you can get it out of the way, because people can read that too. But actually give a shit about people. I mean, the more you actually care about them, the more they're going to actually care about you. And it's just a two-way street, man. It's that building a rapport, building a legacy, building a reputation. It should be who you are naturally. So if you're like that with everybody, with your kid, with your wife, with your parents, with your friends, with the people you do business for, it's going to come out. You know, it's just going to come out when you're on a job that you're a good dude, that you're decent, that you're not trying to screw people. Every once in a while, I'll have somebody that, like, when I go to their house and I notice they are struggling, or I hear, like, yeah, my mom just died last week and I'm having a rough time. Everybody's got sob stories, and some people try to play it, you know, turn the volume up a little bit so that you give them a cheaper pricing. But I can read people, man. I can read people's energy, and I can just feel people. I'm kind of like a clairsentient person, I think. But I can feel people. I can feel when I'm being bullshit. I can feel when there's something behind your eyes that's not right, that you're like a dog about to bite, you know, but you got a good smile on your face. I can fucking read people really well. So anyways, there's been some times where, you know, I could tell somebody's like really fucking struggling, or it's like an elderly lady, and I go in and I'm like, they had a broken switch, and it took me literally like 3 minutes to take a switch out, put another one in, and they're like, how much do I owe you? And I'm like, honey, don't even worry about it. And they're always like, oh my God, are you serious? And it's like, dude, they're on retirement, probably Social Security if they don't have retirement, but they look like they're struggling, man. And fuck, for the $132 or whatever the hell I was going to charge them, like, they probably need that money more than I do. And I love doing what I do. There's no reason that every once in a while I can't just give back to my community. I can't just, like, be a good dude and surprise somebody with a free job. I do that shit too when people use me over and over. So like my repeat customers, if it's near a holiday, like I've got this older guy that, God, I mean, I've probably made $10,000 off the guy over the last like 8 years that he's been using me. And so around Christmas time, I'll go get him some chocolates and a card and send it to his wife. And or, you know, at Christmas time, if I'm out there and I'm doing something, last year this happened. It was like $250, $300 for the time that I was out there. I just wrote it all off. And I was like, you know what, man, this one's on me. And they're like, no, I've got to give you something. I'm like, you have. I mean, you've sustained a career for me. The last 8 years, you've given me so much work. You've fed my family. You've kept me working. You've been supportive of me. You've given word of mouth to other people. Let me give this back to you. You know, like I don't even want your money. I'm so appreciative that you continue to use me. Thank you. Dude, people love that shit. They will go to fucking war for you, and you'll get so many reviews out of just being a good dude. Like, what does it really cost you as an electrician to just give somebody a freebie once in a while? An hour of your time? 2-3 hours of your time? It's not like it's costing you $700 in materials. I mean, I wouldn't do something like that for free unless, like, you know, you just really felt that kind. Like, fuck, that might be a good story, you know, and that might just change their life. That might be a life-changing thing for them. So good on you. But I'm not saying do all of that. I'm saying give your time every once in a while. It's kind of like volunteering or something, you know, like you just giving a little bit of something that's really easy for you to give. You're an hour of your time looking at something, tinkering with something, and walking away. Yeah, okay, you spend some gas money to get out there, but like, don't be greedy, man. It's when you die, you should think about who's going to show up at your funeral, how many people are going to show up at your funeral, versus how many dollar bills you're going to get buried with. Like, fuck the money. This is about more than that. And if you do have that attitude, fuck the money. Just like, I'm all about the people. I'm about helping people out. And I'm just trying to be an honest dude making a living, supporting my family. You're not trying to be a multi-bajillionaire. People are going to recognize that. And you're going to get a lot of work. So have a good day, guys. Work on your reviews. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them. Please subscribe if you like the content. Listen to the podcast. It's Journey to Master in iTunes and Stitcher. On YouTube, you know, subscribe to the channel. YouTube, here's a little secret for those of you that actually do watch all of these videos. And for y'all, I'm very thankful. I appreciate all the comments on the vlog, journeytomaster.com. I appreciate the comments in Facebook and on YouTube. And I just really appreciate the engagement. So keep engaging with me, because I love talking to people. But for y'all that are kind of consistent watchers, if you ever follow me on YouTube, you're going to get all this content the second that I post it, and you're going to get it before everybody else will. So normally what I do is, like right now, I just got done with a job. It's 7 o'clock at night. We're losing daylight right now. But I'm recording this, and this is the 31st. So what is today's Wednesday, May 31st. I'm going to go home, doctor up this episode. In a couple of days, I'm going to post it on YouTube. And then what I usually do is, once it's posted on YouTube, I rip the audio off of that, and I take that YouTube link and I put those into the journeytomaster.com vlog. That's my home site. That's my base. But I schedule out all of these posts so that one of them hits on Monday, one of them hits on Wednesday. Every once in a while, I'm going to do one with Josh on Thursdays, and usually Thursday we record it on the way home from school, and Thursday night he and I sit, and I've been teaching him how to use Adobe Premiere, how to use Photoshop, how to use YouTube, and how to make all of this stuff, so I can let him take that over, because he's really intrigued by it. So I'm trying to get to the point where I'm doing 2 of these a week at least. Maybe every 2 to 4 weeks we'll do a Josh talk, you know. I want to get Emily on some of these so you guys can hear Emily's perspective and meet her. She's the coolest fucking person, man. She's one of the smartest. No, she's the smartest person I have ever met. When you listen to her talk, you can tell, holy shit, you've been private school educated your entire life. You're really fucking smart. Love that girl. And I'll get Colton and Luke, and I've got a couple other electrician buddies that I'd like to have on, just to get some perspective of what they like, what they don't like, how the trades are going, and just get some fresh perspective, so you guys don't have to sit and listen to my ass fucking talk all the time. But if you follow me on YouTube, you'll get the content the second it's out on YouTube, and most of these things won't come out for another like 3 to 4 days later in podcast form. So a little bit of a secret for my good followers. Anyways, man, have a good night. Keep grinding, and I love y'all.